Fair, leave them alone. Even when I look up and I think that I see that it's off, I always want to check, because I would rather learn that the fence is hot by touching it with my hand than stepping over it, I'll tell you right now. Look at what we have. Sweet little wee tiny babies. So I bought a handful of guinea geese several months ago at like a local market, and a few of them were killed because they were just free ranging. We keep all our chickens in these electric nets to keep them safe, because we do have a lot of hawks here. We have raccoons and foxes and possums and goodness knows what else. And we don't really lose a lot of chickens to predators because we do the electric fence and we do them out in the middle of the field. The only time we've lost chickens to aerial predators is when we parked them underneath a tree trying to give them some shade, and we learned really quick those were some young meat chickens, and we essentially laid a Cornish cross buffet for the hawks because they were able to light on the tree branches. But the guineas, we really have those for like snake and insect control. So we were letting them free range. We lost a few, we were down to 2. And I kind of thought, you know, I put them in the fence, they let themselves out of the fence. Guineas are really hard to contain. And I kind of just thought, you know, we probably just won't get any more guineas because I don't want to buy animals just if I can't keep them safe. And I was at a loss of what to do for them without being able to keep them in the fence. Well, about a month or so ago, we were like, oh, we're down to 1. And we just assumed that was the last guinea. It primarily hung out with the chickens, and we didn't think much of it. We just thought our time with guineas is over. But then what we realized was that the 2 we had left were male and female. I don't actually know how to tell them apart, at least not without catching them and closely inspecting them, which that's not going to happen. But now we know we have 1 male and 1 female because Mama came back with a clutch of 11 babies. I think there may be 12. I don't know, they move so fast. I've had a hard time catching them or counting them. Oh, I'm only seeing 11, but aren't they so sweet? I'm very excited about this. When we first got started in homesteading, I had a gardening and homesteading mentor named Miss Shirley, and she's since passed away, but she's actually the one who taught me about gardening on cattle panels. She was awesome. And she had guineas running wild on her property, and she said the best, most resilient guinea geese or guinea fowl you'll ever have on your property is when your guineas actually go broody and hatch their own geese. She said they just are a little more wild rather than when they've been like brooded by people and hatched by people. She said they just have way better survival instincts, and I guess we'll see. You know, I will see if that holds true with this case. But those were actually born over in the asparagus patch across the pond is where she had that nest. And the fact that she stayed safe for it takes 28 days to hatch guinea geese. So, I mean, she obviously picked a good spot. They're survivors. I'm pulling for them. They're going to be really loud. That's going to be a big flock of guineas, but I'm very excited at the idea of having them. Look at this wild garden I came home to. I'm going to try to resist giving you guys much of a garden tour right now because I actually want to shoot a whole long one. I just got back a couple days ago from my cross-country road trip, moving our daughter Malia here from out in Vegas, and it was awesome. I actually did shoot a video of the trip, and that'll probably be up next. It's just taken me a while to edit it since I had a lot of clips from my phone and stuff I'm having to put together. But I came back to this brilliant and beautiful garden, looking so amazing. I came back to ripe tomatoes, not many, and only small ones so far, but still exciting nonetheless. My tomatoes are struggling a little bit. It's been very hot, but Maya is planning on, he's got to build a structure to put our shade cloth up, and it's just been busy the last couple weeks. And of course, when I was gone, he had to take care of the whole farm by himself. But I think he's planning on starting that tomorrow. I know he went today to the store and got a few last minute pieces of material, I guess. Cheers. It makes me so happy. I haven't gotten any ground cherries yet, but they should be pretty close. They usually start coming ripe around the same time as the tomatoes. Look at this. Beautiful fruit. Oh, wow, look. That's pretty close. Who is that? I bet that's a little Paul Robeson. I think I should let it go until tomorrow and pick it tomorrow afternoon. If you're new here and you've not heard me say this 8 billion times before, it is ideal to pick your tomatoes in the middle of the hottest part of the afternoon when they are good and dry, because that's when you're going to get the most concentrated flavor. So I'm going to give that guy a little bit longer. It's tempting to go ahead and pluck it tonight, but tomorrow afternoon I'll be glad I waited. The basil's looking amazing. Oh, look at this guy trying to go to seed. I think it's time for a big basil harvest. I could put it all in a freeze dryer or something. You don't even believe this garden and the way that it's grown. Now my hibiscus are all getting ready to bloom, and I think I'm at least as excited about this as anything else that's bloomed in this garden, maybe more excited, because these things have gotten huge. These are all these proven winners, perfect storm hibiscus, and I just did not even know they could possibly get this big. There's another one down here. Look at that. It's going to be amazing. More hibiscus. Huge. Guys, isn't this amazing? I'm in awe of how much the garden grew while I was gone. I was noticing this morning. This is my Berries Crazy Cherry, which is a multiflora tomato. This is another level of multiflora. Look at all these blooms on this plant. There's another one down here. Amazing, right? Oh, look. Oh, I think I pulled one of those, a little one, right? Definitely sour. I'm gonna save this one for Ben. I did harvest my first okra the other day, but not on the plants that I planted on this volunteer plant growing in the walkway. Isn't that funny? How are we already in the productive garden season again? Just feels like it snuck right up. I don't know why that is. Every year I feel that way. Every year I feel like I so eagerly anticipate the garden coming. And then I have this sense, I'm planning, and then it's getting started, and I'm excited for it to get started. And in my mind it's like, oh, it's still early, and then all of a sudden, it's crazy productive, and I'm coming out and eating food in the garden, morning and evening every day. Oh, I just noticed this. I peeked in here. Where was it? I just caught view of it. Oh, there it is. A little baby Armenian cucumber. Have to keep an eye on this because these get really huge really fast. And more babies. Another thing that grows fast. Noodle beans. I'm doing the thing I said I wasn't going to do. I'm showing you all the stuff. Oh, hey, Delmer. What's up, dude? Y'all, look at Delmer. Who was here long enough to remember when he was born? That was Freya's first baby that she had on the farm. Hey, cutie. I actually saw a thing recently where somebody was talking about how during the high season, plants like vining squashes and cucumber plants and all that can actually grow like multiple inches in a day. Which is not surprising because sometimes, like for instance with the squash, I'll be like, wasn't I just out here? Wasn't this not sprawling around on the bed? Like, how did I miss that? You know, I'll find things that like they're all the way grown into the walkway. I'm like, wasn't I just out here? Did I just completely fail to train this up the trellis? But it grows so fast. These are some beans recently I had a new friend come to the coffee shop and bring me some seeds for a variety called Seychelles beans. It's Seychelles. And they're a pole bean, but the bean itself is like a really thin, kind of like French fillet type bean. Those are my favorite kinds, but the only varieties I've known of grow as bush beans. So that was very exciting to find out about. So that's what's on that row. We're gonna have a good deal of beans. Looks like I'm gonna get a good cucumber year. These are setting a lot. Look at that. Green stalk looking awesome. And then my silver slicer cucumbers over here are like heavy with fruit. I need to harvest them. I'm not gonna do it tonight. I'm gonna wait until the morning so I can harvest them and immediately make pickles. I prefer to harvest most things early in the morning. I just find that they do better and stay fresh longer. You don't have to. Oh, look! There was a volunteer melon here, and I guessed that it was a Kajari melon because of what had been here previously, and I think that I was right. That looks like a little baby Kajari melon. See what I'm saying with this? Rogue little dudes. I can't even reach to put these up. I'm gonna have to get a little stool out here. So, my hope this week is to make a video on the farmer's table showing you guys my first batch of baba ganoush this season, because I have some really big eggplants. So I have, I bought these plants started, and I'm not really sure of the varieties. I know that they're like some sort of hybrid. I think that these are fairy tale eggplants. These were actually some of the first eggplants I ever tried. I bought them at a farmer's market, and they're kind of on the smaller side. I mean, even like full size, they don't get much bigger than this. And I've not done a whole lot with eggplants this size. I'm typically just like super like simple when it comes to how I cook farm food, because it's easiest. Because I like to be in the garden in the evenings during the summer instead of in the kitchen. And so a lot of times all I'm doing is just roasting things. Some olive oil to finish, some lemon juice, good salt, cracked pepper, maybe some paprika, maybe some garlic powder. Like, I'm very basic in how I cook a lot of the veggies on my farm. Like, we've eaten squash so much recently, but almost entirely it's just cut up and then grilled on the Blackstone with oil and salt and pepper, alongside whatever it is that I'm cooking. With those eggplants, I'd love to know if anybody has any great ways they like to use small eggplants. For the most part, all I'm doing with those is roasting them. Last night, I cooked some, I just grilled some on the Blackstone, and then I brushed them with kind of like a honey, soy sauce, peanut sauce situation. It was pretty good. It wasn't like mind-blowing or anything. It could have been better, so I don't know. Maybe I'll try to work on that a little bit more. You know, being gone from the house during this time of year for an entire week is hard to do. I actually have another trip coming up next week where I am flying to Idaho. Melissa K. Norris, who is a sweet friend of mine, is hosting her homesteading conference up there, and she invited me to come speak. So that's been on my calendar for a while. I'm very excited about that. It's a lot of traveling, but totally worth it. This year my goal was to go some places that I've never been and be able to meet viewers that I've not met before. So of course, obviously, I'll probably meet some people I've met before, but I've never been to any sort of homesteading event up in that region. It's in Idaho. And then from there, I'm actually headed over to Iowa for McMurray Fest, for our friends at Murray McMurray Hatchery are having their first big event. And I have been there before, but I've never gone and done like a meetup or anything. So I'm very excited to get to connect with viewers in new places. I'm very excited to get to meet people, but I have not left my house since I got home. We went out for Father's Day the next day, and since then, I've just been here, and I plan on staying here for the next week and a half until I have to leave again. I'm literally making no plans to go anywhere other than like a couple things I'll have to do for the kids. I just want to soak up the garden. I want to get as much canning done as possible. I've got a lot of cucumbers to put up, and I need to put them up because I didn't grow, I think I grew like 3 cucumbers last year on a volunteer plant, so I've got to replenish all my pickles and all that stuff. I still have some beets to process. We're getting into the throes of it. The traveling this month has been incredibly inspiring. I came home from the trip with Malia, and I'm excited to show you guys the footage of that. It was awesome just to be able to see that part of the country, to drive through the desert and to go to a couple of parks out there and just see things I've never seen before. I thought it was absolutely amazing. I found myself, like, when we pulled over in gas stations, like rifling my journal out of my bag to write down little clips of poetic thoughts that I had. It was so inspiring to me, and I'm really looking forward to going again to Idaho. That's a place I've never been before, and then to Iowa again to be with friends. I get to meet Charles Downing, who is kind of my gardening hero, so I just want you all to know, if you are there at McMurray Fest in the proximity of me when I meet Charles Downing, please just, I can't even hold my composure thinking about it. Like, for all the people that apologize for crying when they come up to me, just know, like, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I'm so excited. What an extraordinary thing that I get to do. I'm emotional. Partially because I'm still really tired. I'm still just feeling like I'm catching up from being gone that long. I don't sleep well when I'm not at home, and it was definitely, it was a beautiful but taxing trip. I mean, I drove 2,800 miles in a week, and flew for a whole bunch of them too, so it was a lot. But man, it was one of those hard things that was totally worthy, and I definitely, though I'm tired, feel deeply inspired. And I'm looking forward to soaking up my garden in that state, working hard, but just loving it, and then going again on another adventure. Oh, I didn't even see this one. Look at that. It's a good one. And Baba Ganoush has been calling my name. Talk about that slow food. I started eggplants from seeds. They didn't do well, and I ended up buying those plants because I was not willing to not grow eggplants. I've been thinking about Baba Ganoush since the freeze came and killed my eggplants last year because I was on a kick and it got cut short. So I'm ready to get satisfied of my Baba Ganoush craving. I've waited all this time to get it from the garden. Y'all, I just casually picked this strawberry, this little guy, off this green stalk while I walked by, and took a bite of it, and it just stopped me in my tracks. It's so delicious. Gosh, that's good. I found a couple more little cherry tomatoes to take to my Benjamin. I know it's not feasible because, you know, real life, but when I walk through my garden on a golden hour evening, it feels very cool out here for how hot it's been. And I just walk through, eating my way through the garden, marveling at all of the beautiful things and sharing it with you all through the camera. I really do genuinely wish I could share it with you. Like, logistically, if I opened my farm up to the public, just obviously would be madness, and I couldn't do it and also be a responsible mom. But one day I really dream of a place that I can, you know, with my family, with my husband, with my team of people who help create the kind of place that people could come to and just walk through the gardens and sit and think a while and just enjoy feeling what it is I feel whenever I get to do this. I don't know. Not a bad dream to have, and a worthy one. I mean, even if it takes me years to get there, I think that would be worth dreaming about for years. I'm gonna go give these tomatoes to Ben. I'm gonna bring the camera with me. He has a sty on his eye right now. It's real swollen, and I'm just telling you guys because I know you're gonna see it. I'm not gonna say anything about it in front of him because, I mean, it's obviously nothing embarrassing to have a sty. That happens, but he won't want me to point it out in front of him. I'm gonna tell you guys ahead of time because I know some of you will be like, what happened? Sweet Maya. Hello. You're such a darling, cooking dinner.
Remind me how to do this again?
Just give it some time.
Well, okay, so it's to add eggs in.
And just cover it with the lid and let it cook for a little bit.
Okay, and then what's next?
Then you put the rice, the butter,
seasoning,
and the meat, and mix it all together with the
and then
soy
add all
sauce.
the oils and stuff.
Well, the tamari, yeah.
Oh, I gotcha.
Katie girl got her summer cut. Looking a little weird, but clean and healthy. Hey Ben, I have something for you. You ready?
Tomatoes.
Yes.
Are they from the garden?
Yeah, just harvested them. Fresh and new. Are you happy? I had to share some with you. Some of the first tomatoes of the year. So good, huh? What are you doing in here, Ezra?
Slicing some apples with peanut butter. These are
But you're going to save those to eat after you have dinner that Dad's making?
yeah.
Okay, good choice. All right, y'all, I'm going to come out here and hang out with my husband while he cooks dinner. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today and all the days you do. I bless you. Until next time.